We are Maria
and Nicole. We're two secular homeschooling moms that have
been there, done that.
Is math time making you and your kids groan? Maybe you're looking to break free from the usual curriculum and worksheets? If so, you're not alone. Many homeschoolers find math overwhelming, and today we're going to energize your math lessons by taking them outside. Nature and math might seem like an odd pair, but we've got plenty of creative ideas to prove otherwise.
Yeah, in our episode, Homeschooling in the Wild, we explored benefits of outdoor learning and how to incorporate more nature into your routine. And in our last episode, we talked about homesteading in the suburbs and involving your kids in teaching about things like gardening and sustainability. Today, we're taking it a step further by turning math into an outdoor learning adventure.
And as usual, we want to stress that our podcast is an inclusive space for your everyday parents that are looking for education options. We are not here to convince you to homeschool. We want to stress that you need to do what works for your child and for your family.
Every family's different.
Absolutely. And you know your children best. So feel free to take what advice or information you get from here that works for you and chuck the rest.
Good morning, Nicole.
Good morning, Maria. How's it going?
It is going well. I'm so happy to see you.
I know. It's been a while.
You've been traveling. You've been moving kids all over the country.
I did 6 airplane rides in the last week.
What? 6?
I
knew there were 4.
I popped a blood vessel in my eyeball.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, it's going away now, but you can still see the red there. It was like my whole eyeball was red the other day. It was crazy. But yeah, I've been all over the place.
The pressure's gotten to you, literally.
It did.
Oh my gosh. So your daughter, she's got one more year at St. Louis University.
Yep. So yeah, we had multiple trips and then ultimately ended up in St. Louis to help her move from one apartment to the other. And
it's a loft. It's gorgeous.
It is. Oh, it's super cute.
Got the brick walls. And
yeah.
So cute.
Yeah.
I love those.
But moving kids is hard.
Yeah. Well, I moved my daughter. I showed up. The other 2 roommates had already moved out. And so we went in there. I thought we were just going to dust and clean a little. No, the refrigerator freezer was packed. And let me tell you, young adult refrigerators they're gross.
No, they're so gross. We have learned that lesson with my son. And that lesson, that very important lesson, everybody write down, never be the last roommate to depart.
Yeah, I learned this the hard way. I don't remember. I mean, it's been decades and I don't remember this, but maybe I was always the first to go and I never had to deal with this.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So gross.
No, yeah, Jane's new apartment was like a disaster. And like the one person hadn't left yet and then the other person had sublet for the summer. And like it was so gross. It's so nice now. I can't wait for the new roommate to come back on Monday and see like how sparkly everything is. But
you're the best mom. Oh my gosh. Traveling to do this is a big deal.
Well, I'm glad to be able to do it. My parents always helped me. So I like to help my kids if I can, you know?
Yeah, that's never been the case for me.
No, they just put you on a plane or bus or car ride.
No, I bought my car, I bought my gas, and I drove away.
You were like, bye. Oh my gosh. Well, you're a good mom and you help your kids. So.
Oh, it was something. So.
Yeah, so I'm glad to be back in town and get to my paddleboarding and hiking and everything. How about you? What are you doing?
Well, that's funny you say that because that's exactly what I'm doing today. I'm hiking with a bunch of girlfriends of mine and we're going to hit the trail. I chose a trail that was shaded because it's so blistering hot. So actually I'm doing that right after this recording.
Oh, well, perfect. Perfect. Well, then we should hop to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Galileo said, nature's great book is written in mathematics.
I love that.
Yeah. Galileo was way ahead of his time. His insight highlights the incredible value of using math to understand the world around us. And everywhere we look, mathematical principles follow the laws of nature, from the symmetry of a flower to the rings in a tree trunk. My kids were blown away when they learned about Galileo's discoveries.
Yeah, mine too.
And they were also shocked at how poorly he was treated for his crazy radical ideas. So we're really grateful that time has changed.
Oh, that's for sure. And every time I think about math and nature, I always think about the Fibonacci sequence and the golden ratio. Mm-hmm. It really does truly reflect nature's elegance and efficiency. We're going to talk more about that later. And we also have a special Fibonacci surprise for you this week.
Surprise. guys.
But taking math class outdoors can make learning fun and it can really engage your child. So many multi-sensory experiences that they can have out there. You know, Nicole and I are all about the outdoors. I'm hiking today. You'll probably take your outdoor hike. I'm sure you will.
I am.
But you don't really have to be particularly outdoorsy to do what we're talking about here in this episode. And if you're not, you may just want to consider stepping out of your comfort zone because there really are so many cool things that you could be exploring with your kids.
Yeah, that's one of the things I love about homeschooling is it forces you all out of your box to kind of learn new things. So,
Right. You've talked many times about when your kids were little, like they looked down a trail and, hey, Mom, what's down there? And
oh yeah.
you were like, wait,
Let's go explore it.
Well, I don't think that was your first reaction.
Well, no, I probably was like, let's not do that. But then we did, and now look.
Right.
So let's talk about exploring mathematical concepts in natural settings. So exploring math outdoors can be both simple and exciting. You don't necessarily need complex experiments to see the benefits. Just being outside and connecting math to nature can make learning more engaging and fun.
For younger kids, activities like counting acorns or measuring sticks to provide hands-on math can feel real and relevant to them. And at the same time, older kids can explore more advanced concepts. And we're going to be getting into some of those here later in this episode. But the fresh air and new surroundings, along with practical hands-on approach, it can help kids see math as part of their world and not just something in a textbook.
One of the things you can really look at is symmetry. Symmetrical shapes are everywhere in biology. Leaves, mammals, starfish, even more contain symmetrical properties. Students can classify living things based on the types of symmetry they observe. So, for example, contrast the rotational symmetry of a starfish with the bilateral symmetry of an oak leaf.
Yeah, we have a great book to talk about symmetry in nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sit down with your child in like your backyard or even a local park and start exploring together. Point out different leaves and you can ask them to identify symmetrical patterns. You can even make a game of it by seeing who can find the most symmetrical objects within a certain time. I love to make games. I'm super competitive. I know you are too.
Oh, a little bit. We're very competitive. That's so funny. Also, shapes. Identify different shapes in nature. Armadillos make sphere shapes. Turtle shells look like circles. Beehives are full of hexagons. Use your imagination. Finding geometrical shapes in nature is easy and fun.
Also, you can look for patterns. Nature is full of amazing patterns. Like I mentioned earlier, one of the most fascinating is the Fibonacci sequence. And this mathematical pattern shows up in various forms all around us. And it reveals the beauty and the efficiency of the way that all the seeds in a sunflower center are arranged so it gets just the right amount of sunlight. Or the pattern and ways that leaves are arranged on a stem, or the spirals of a pine cone, or the curves of the seashell. It's named after an Italian mathematician, and I've created a free lesson pack with tons of hands-on activities to help you explore this phenomenon. Even the youngest homeschoolers will totally be in awe as they discover this all around them in nature. I spent so much time creating this to make it available to really all ages, and you don't have to completely understand the sequence yourself. You may actually want to do the lesson pack to teach yourself about it.
Yeah, learn right alongside your kids. And outside of the Fibonacci sequence, there really are so many patterns that you can find in nature. Take a nature walk with your child. Bring a notebook to draw or list the different shapes and patterns you find. Discuss how these shapes are similar to those in their geometry lessons. Count petals on a flower or seeds in a fruit. Talk about how these patterns match that Fibonacci or don't match the sequence. You can even take pictures and create a nature-shaped collage when you get home. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we did that for Thanksgiving. We collected things and we made this huge sign, and each letter of the word Thanksgiving we created it through things we found in nature.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's such a sweet idea.
It's our annual sign.
Yeah. You can also do counting in nature. Counting activities engage young learners, help them develop number sense. Gosh, when my kids were very little, we counted everything. But you can ask your kids to collect 5 pine cones or 10 sticks or any small quantity of common objects, and then you can count the items together. A pine cone, for example, can be further analyzed by then counting the number of scales it contains.
Exactly. And this activity can be extended by possibly maybe sorting or categorizing the items collected. You can even work on your multiplication tables by sorting them into groups and doing your multiplication tables like that.
Yeah.
You don't have to sit at a desk.
No, not at all. You can also go on a scavenger hunt with your child and collect different natural items. And then once you're back home, lay everything out and count the items together. You can sort them by type, size, color, even use them for math problems. Remember when we used to go camping, one of the first things that we would do is send the kids off on a scavenger hunt so that we
Yes.
could get like the tent up and like all of the stuff done.
Oh
And it
yeah,
was
and
a
I
lot of
forgot I
fun.
made the scavenger
Yeah,
hunt
you
on
made.
our preschool episode, so you
Yeah.
can download that for free too.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah, and so the next thing on the list would be measuring activities. So these can help students gain a sense of proportion about the world. So you want to give your child tools like rulers, tape measures, and a notebook to measure and record their findings. We love to have just like a whole basket of all the math things. You love to have baskets of books.
I
I
do.
do love books, but I have baskets of math things and
Yeah, no, we totally have.
magnets and everything. All the
Yeah,
science
all that
stuff.
fun stuff. You can spend an afternoon measuring different objects in your yard or at a park, compare the length of sticks, rocks, leaves, discuss the differences. For older children, you can introduce concepts like mean, median, mode by calculating the average lengths.
Yeah, and you can ask your kids, so how long is the average stick in your backyard? And then you can collect a bunch of sticks, measure their lengths, and compute the averages. And then you can compare the sizes of the sticks to the other items. So you just get creative. There's so many things. They're just out there in nature ready for you to use.
There, it's not just junk out there in your yard waiting for the lawn guy. And high school students too can use their knowledge of statistics to determine if measurements are normally distributed.
Yeah.
So also estimating activities. Estimating activities build on measuring activities. You can use estimation to teach your kids how to make educated guesses based on partial data. So for instance, ask how many beetles are in the garden or how many pine cones are in the forest. And you can have your students count how many of each item they find in one area and then extrapolate the answers using multiplication. We really liked those one small square books.
Oh,
There's a
those are
whole
so cute.
yeah, there's a whole series, and it actually involved going into your backyard and like measuring out one small square foot and then finding the things that are in that little
In
square
that
foot.
space.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's one for like the forest and one for the seashore. There's like all these different ones. And the book itself actually is a ruler. Like you can take the book and measure.
Oh,
with
that's
it.
so
It's
cute.
really cute.
Yeah, those are cute. And during these estimations, you want to let your children know that while there isn't a single correct answer, they can get close by applying estimation principles. You can start with something simple like estimating the number of leaves on a small tree branch, or count the leaves on one part of the branch and then multiply to estimate the total. You can discuss how close their estimates are to the actual numbers. So all these
Yeah.
activities are super fun.
So much stuff to do. So, just a reminder that we release regular episodes that we drop on Thursday mornings just for you. And if you have any additional ideas or comments, please come and comment on our Facebook or Instagram page, on the thread about the episode, or send us an email at info@btdthomeschool.com. We'd really love to hear from you. So, weather and meteorology is another thing that you can do outside in nature to explore math concepts. Weather is a rich source of math and nature. Show your students how to use a thermometer to measure temperature and a hygrometer to measure humidity. And how to incorporate this into your homeschool? Ask them to take regular measurements over time. This could be like a morning routine that you do like every day. You can teach your kids how to measure rainfall, use math to make weather predictions.
Yeah, we love the Williamson Weather activity book for this. And meanwhile, for high school students, introduce them to the formula for converting Fahrenheit to Celsius and vice versa. So much you can do.
Oh, so much. You can even set up a simple weather station in your backyard and have your kids record their observations daily. That's a lot of fun.
And then you can also journal, create a weather journal together. Each day, have your child record the temperature or humidity and any other weather related observations. Over time, look for patterns, and then you can make predictions about future weather based on their data. You can start this really young. There are really cute checkoff boards or worksheets for this, or you can make your own. On our Facebook freebie group, I posted a free hurricane chart that we've used every hurricane season. I always like to have the kids predict the trajectory of the a hurricane and then compare it to what it actually did. And they're always like, oh, that's not what I thought it would do. Or it's
Yeah.
really fun to see that.
That's one of Jillian has been obsessed with weather since she was like really little. She would always like open up the weather app and she's always like checking different things. She'll always be like, "Oh, well, there's a such and such percent of rain today."
I think I have a video of them at the museum they have the little weather camera there where you
Oh,
can
yeah,
pretend to be
yeah.
a weather
Oh,
person.
they love to do
I
that.
think I have a little Jillian in camera picture of that.
Probably. Oh my gosh, we should find that. But yeah, for sure. And my kids now even will be like, "Oh, Jillian, what's it supposed to be today?" Like they ask her because they know. Moving along, trigonometry. Students can use trigonometry to calculate tree heights, measure the lengths of their shadows in the tree shadow, and by calculating the ratio of their heights to their shadows, students can determine the tree's height because the ratio is going to be the same.
Exactly. So how can you incorporate this into your homeschool? So you can provide them with a measuring tape and a calculator, and they can practice this trigonometry outdoors. This one totally fascinated my kids. We're posting a free download with instructions on how to actually do this, but it was so fun to do this one.
It's so cool.
The next thing on the list is fractals in nature. So fractals are a simple pattern that repeats over and over again at smaller scales infinitely. Fractals help us study and understand important scientific and math concepts, such as the way that bacteria grows, patterns in freezing water like snowflakes, and brainwaves. And the Fibonacci sequence is a type of fractal, and hunting for fractals in nature is so fun. These fascinating shapes are found everywhere, from mountain ranges to tree branches. And while fractal geometry is advanced, the idea of self-similarity is accessible to even young children.
Yeah, so again, use your nature walk time to identify and photograph fractals. Discuss the concept of self-similarity and how it applies to the natural world.
Explore a park or forest looking for fractals in leaves, tree bark, and even clouds. You can take photos or draw fractals in that nature journal, and later you can discuss how these patterns repeat at different scales and why they're important in nature.
So moving along to space and astronomy, remind kids that outdoor space is part of the natural world too. Students can track the moon's movements and phases to understand periodic motion.
Yeah, and the ways that you can do this and incorporate this into your homeschool, you can do night sky observation, encourage your kids to keep a moon journal, recording its phases and positions over time. My favorite way to do this is with Oreos.
Yum, me too.
Every homeschooler, I think, has done that one.
Yeah, the kids are like, "Hey, Mom, why are you having snacks right now?" "No, I'm just doing a moon phase experiment. Leave me alone."
Solo, baby.
Exactly. Yeah, but I spend a few nights observing the moon. Have your child draw the moon's shape, note its position in the sky, and over a month they'll see how the moon changes and learn all about its phases and orbit.
Exactly. After you finish this episode, head on over to our website for show notes, references, and pictures of everything that we're discussing today. You can also join us on Facebook and Instagram for more content and give us a thumbs up. You can also join our Homeschool Freebies Facebook group for helpful resources and tips. Over the years, we found so many free resources all over the place, and we have used them in our homeschool and love them, and we are just out there sharing all this stuff with you. So join us. Okay, moving on to games, playing math games in nature.
You love games.
We do, and there are so many math activities and games that can help your child associate math with fun instead of a laborious chore. Many indoor math games work just as well outdoors too, so there's just something that truly brings kids alive by just taking it outside. So how can you incorporate this into your homeschool?
Well, how about some math twister?
Yes.
So similar to regular twister, but with numbers drawn on the ground. You can give students math problems to solve and have them touch the correct number.
Yeah. You can draw a large grid on your driveway or use chalk to create a number mat. Call out math problems and have your child place their hands and feet on the correct answers. And this combines physical activity with mental math practice. We often would take sidewalk chalk and write the answers to math problems, and I would have my son scoot to the correct answer.
Yeah.
And
You
so
could do all kinds of,
yeah,
you could
so
throw a
much.
ball to land on it. Like you could do all kinds of different things.
Yeah.
Navigation games. You can hide a ball, give children directions to find it. This helps them practice geometry and spatial awareness.
Like we talked about earlier, we talked about a treasure hunt. You can do one in your backyard or a local park. You can write clues that require your child to use directions and distances to find the next clue. And this reinforces geometry concepts while they have fun searching for the treasure. You can introduce cardinal directions and a compass rose. We have our free geography bundle lesson pack that people can download. And if they've never introduced this concept to their kids, start today.
Yeah, I love things like orienteering and geocaching. Like those are
geocaching, so
fun
fun.
ways to kind of get that started. There used to be a little learning story that I would use when I was teaching kids about directions. We had done like an orienteering class, probably with our with our adventure kids group.
Oh, yes.
But it was really cute because it was, a story about the princess and the mountain, and then you would walk this many steps, and then you would walk this, and you would turn east, and it taught all of the directions, and it then would get them around in a circle. But it was a real active way to learn it. It was cute.
Yeah, I like that.
So, what about challenges with studying math and nature? Taking the math classroom outdoors can come with challenges. Depending on where you live, nature varies by location. So, adapt activities to your surroundings. Be mindful of outdoor dangers like wild animals and poisonous plants. Ensure that your nature math activities take place in a safe area, and maybe when it's not 115 degrees.
Right. Make sure you're hydrated. Yeah. So you want to always think about safety first. So teach your kids about local wildlife and the plants that grow there. Be sure to choose safe locations for your outdoor activities. We are all about safety. Stay on the trail. Don't harm nature. Don't let nature harm you. Yeah.
Yeah, before heading out, you can discuss any potential hazards, how to avoid them. Teach your child to recognize plants like poison ivy and animals that can pose a threat. Be sure to teach them the difference between venomous and poisonous.
Yes, please.
All our kids get super crazy about signs that say, watch out for poisonous snakes. They're like, only if you eat them.
Yes. Poisonous only if you ingest it, venomous if it bites you. So.
Yeah.
And isn't it always so funny when some of the national and state signs have that?
Yes. The kids, there's several parks in the area that say that our kids would always take pictures with.
It's crazy.
Roll their eyes. But yeah, stick to well-known paths, areas that you know are safe, and just, be careful.
Spending all day indoors is not ideal for our physical or our mental health. So moving the classroom outside offers a refreshing change, especially for subjects like math. So taking math outside shows its relevance beyond the textbooks, making it more engaging. So kids that engage in outdoor math activities are more likely to enjoy them and understand math. If you're new to homeschooling or struggling with teaching math, remember that you're not alone. Many homeschoolers face the same challenges, but the beauty of homeschooling is the flexibility that it offers. So take a deep breath, embrace the journey, and know that it's okay to try different approaches until you find what works best for your family.
Yeah, you've got this. Don't be afraid to get creative and make learning fun. Math doesn't have to be confined to textbooks and drills, and by integrating math into everyday activities and taking those lessons outdoors, you can help your child see the beauty and practicality of math in the world around them.
Yeah, incorporating nature into your math curriculum can make learning more enjoyable and more meaningful. From symmetry and shapes to estimation and trigonometry, nature offers endless opportunities to explore mathematical concepts.
Thank you for joining us on today's episode. If you have any questions or need further resources, please visit our website at www.btdthomeschool.com. Keep exploring and enjoying the wonders of math and nature. Tune in next time for episode 69, Why Choose a Literature-Based Homeschool? You might be looking for a way to make learning more memorable and impactful for your kids, and a literature-based homeschool might just be what you need.
Yeah, we both love that.
We sure do. And until next time, happy homeschooling. See you next time.
See you next time.
Cheers!
Be sure to check us out on our website at btdthomeschool.com, as in been there, done that, btdthomeschool.com. You can join our mailing list and get news and updates on future podcasts, and be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform and follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok at the BTDT Been There, Done That Homeschool Podcast.